So it is Saturday, September 16th, and the garden starting to show the signs of fall coming. Got calendula, bronze fennel that has gone to seed, my eggplant, which I have yet to get anything off of because the dog keeps eating it, overgrown marigolds, and my tomato cages that did not work very well. All those tomatoes are laying over. More marigolds, and a bunch of jalapenos that I need to pick. I think I'm gonna make cowboy candy from them. The nasturtiums had died back and then kind of came back full force. And they're looking really good. These little, they look like weeds, but that is borage trying to pop up. There was a borage plant here and it reseeded itself. And the cantaloupe growing over the trellis. I think we have 4. There's 1, 2, you can kind of see that one back there, 3, and 4 up there towards the top. Strawberries are doing their thing, trying to grow out the sides. And I really need to get in here and weed this bed. There's some curly parsley that I could probably pick and use, actually. But the scarlet runner beans are going nuts. They finally actually have bean pods on them. And that took a long time to happen. I didn't really start seeing those until the last couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks. I planted some cool weather crops in anticipation of fall. There's peas, carrots, and I think that's kale. Pretty sure the top there, those little clover looking ones, I'm pretty sure that's kale. But the Swiss chard I planted at the beginning of the summer is still going. I'm really not eating it, I'm just kind of feeding it to the rabbit. She really likes it. So this giant thing is also parsley that has completely gone to seed. I probably should pull it out. These onions, for whatever reason, did not do well here in this third bed. Some of them are kind of large, but the others are quite pruny, or puny, I guess. These are beets. I did not thin them out well enough this year, so they're not growing that well either. And that head of purple cabbage. There's a second one there, but I think I planted them too close together, so they are not, that one's a lot smaller than this one, as you can tell. There's Bitch Bunny. Oh, Bunny! She's quite mean. Alright, this is the messy end of the garden. I have another head of purple cabbage here, and it's doing well. Planted some cucumbers here in the end. They were late season. I got a couple off of them. I've missed a few, so whoops. Some purple basil and onions. The onions over here did a lot better than the ones in the bed over there. These ones are quite a bit larger. I've pulled out the squash plant that was in here and kind of roughed everything up and then tossed in just random scattered, mostly carrots. There are some little beet sprouts there. The tomatoes, I have some gold cherry tomatoes down here on the end, and then some oxheart and Romas. This Roma, or you know what, I think actually these might be San Marzano, and they're the ones that didn't do very well. And I think those are Roma, and they did really well. Yeah, I think that's the case. I can't read my little plastic markers because they rubbed off, so I need to find a better solution for that next year because I can't tell what plants are what. But I think this tomato plant is San Marzano, and it got some sort of disease or blight or something. The rest down here, I'm not really sure. I think that one might be a black crim. I don't know what the rest of these are because, again, my tags didn't last. This cucumber plant on this trellis, it worked, but I didn't really manage the vines very well. They ended up growing up the sunflowers that were volunteer sunflowers. I always kind of get volunteer sunflowers in this spot. They reseed themselves. And I have this mushroom growing, and I don't know what it is, but it's growing. We're just gonna leave it alone. Got potatoes in this little basket here. I don't know when to harvest these. Yeah, eventually they'll die back, right? And that means I can harvest them. There's under the trellis and our little gnome friend. I have a lot of cucumbers that now look like melons. I'm gonna hopefully let them all turn dark orange like this one. I need to pick that one actually. And I'm gonna try and get as many seeds out of them as I can. Maybe I'll share those seeds if they propagate, or if they if they sprout well. I have little Mexican sour gherkins, those little mini cucumbers with some calendula and globe basil in here. This pot really has just been kind of for fun. I haven't gotten a whole lot of use out of it. I just enjoy it. So there are carrots that are doing pretty well in this bed. And then tomatoes, and more tomatoes, and some basil. There are beets kind of interplanted underneath, and they're kind of bulbing, but not really. This plant on the end, I know, is a Cherokee purple, and it has just produced like crazy. It's doing phenomenal. And then of course all the zinnias look beautiful, and our plum tree is fruiting. I need to pick them. I don't really know how to tell if they're ripe, or maybe it's just the variety of plum, but they're very green on the inside. So like, let's see, this one looks really fat, but when I open it, see, it's green. And they kind of smell like grass. They don't smell sweet. I haven't tried to taste one yet, but they don't. I don't know, in my mind, I don't know if they're necessarily purely plums. Oh, the Willy wants it. Here, you can have it. So that is the garden this year. And you can see I have a lot of tomatoes I need to come pick off of this plant that is just hanging over onto the ground. So that's the garden.